This week, the van has brought me on a trip down to the south coast, more specifically Swanage, and the reason for coming down here is to capture some images of what remains of the old pier. Luckily, there's a new pier which is open to the public, which you can take a walk along, and it also gives you a good location to view what remains of the old pier. The plan is to shoot some long exposure images, which I like to do with water-based scenes like this. Unfortunately, the weather isn't ideal though. I would have liked less cloud cover. As you can see, it's pretty dull, so the light's going to be really flat, but I guess that's going to be better than bright blue sky. First shot of the day. So what I've lined up here for this shot, and I'll just walk you through it, is I've got what looks like the old pier going through the foreground of the scene. There's a little boat out there, and also I've got the bell tower on the right hand side with some buildings looking out into the sea over there on the right as well. So the idea as well as for this was take it as a long exposure, so I'm going to aim for around about 2 minutes. So I've got my photo pills app out, calculated what I need to do for that with my 16 stop, and we'll see how it goes. Right, so that last shot came out really nicely. However, what I want to try and do is just get the camera down a little bit lower, just to maybe reduce some of the gap between the posts coming out of the water and the land just above. What I'm just mindful of if I do that though is the posts over there may cut across the horizon, which I don't want to do. So I'm just going to see how that looks in camera. Okay, let's try again, another 2 minutes. That one's come out really nice too, so I'm going to post that one up as well. So here's the shot. A little bit of voiceover is needed here, as there's some workmen just working out of shot with power tools, and they've got the radio on, so they're making a lot of noise. So what I'm trying to get here is a wide angle shot of the pavilion that's at the end of the new pier. So I'm backed up right against the flagpole. I'm at 24mm, which is as wide as this lens goes. I've also added an ND filter just to drag out that shutter, so I've got a bit of a long exposure going on, so I kind of get the same feeling in this image as I have in all of the others. Okay, so I've got myself into another position looking at what was the old pier. I've got that going away from me, just sweeping around to the right hand side, and then I've got the newer pier just over there on the left. So we'll just see how this comes out. Again, it's going to be another long exposure shot, so 2 minutes, a minute and a half in, so we'll see how this one turns out, and if it turns out, it's the shot. slightly more minimal one this time. So what we're going to have is just the old pier. So I've zoomed in a little bit to the pier, also to cut out some of these stuff on the side. I've also just moved the camera up a little bit in terms of just looking up, just so I get a little bit more sky compared to the sea. So the balance is slightly different on this one. So again, we'll give this one a try. Again, 2 minutes. Let's just make sure we're focused correctly. Okay. Another 2 minutes. Okay, that's 2 minutes up. So here's the shot.